3, 2. Okay. All right. Okay, welcome back. And we came up with a name this time. It's called We Don't Exist.
Yeah.
So...
Because we fucking don't. Where the fuck are we?
We don't exist.
We're in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, no, exactly. So welcome back to the We Don't Exist podcast. I'm Armando.
It's welcome back to We Don't Exist.
Okay. Welcome back.
Or maybe welcome back to us not existing. I don't fucking know.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Okay, right.
Well, welcome back to not existing with us. My name's Armando.
And I'm Jordan.
And we don't exist.
We fucking don't exist.
All right.
Oh, coffee. Okay, so what I wanted to say was coffee is so... I don't know why people paint it like... Maybe people just don't pay attention to their mind. I don't fucking know. But people paint coffee like it's this fucking drug that will like zap you into wake mode and make it feel like you've been resting all fucking... No. Coffee is like... It's weird because coffee... Sure, it makes me alert, but I still feel tired. Like, if I haven't gotten sleep, or if I had shit sleep, I still feel like I had shit sleep. I just don't act like it.
Yeah.
But I still feel like it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, my alertness is there, but like, I don't know about you, but like, if I'm like on fucking E, and then I drink some coffee, I almost get like almost paranoid.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
I'll get this
same.
fucking twitchiness, and I'm just like, fuck. Because I'm like, I'm constantly dozing off, but I'm constantly hyperactive and aware too.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it fucks with me. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Literally that coffee's a fucking lie. It actually doesn't wake you up. It just like fucking, I don't know, there's like a part of your brain that it's like slaps over and over again. It's like, wake the fuck up. And you don't actually feel rested. It doesn't let you go to sleep.
Well, you know what's interesting is because coffee, what happens is when you drink coffee, when you get tired, your essentially body's producing this brain chemical called adenosine. And so adenosine is like a sleepy thing. It's like it communicates that your body's tired.
Damn, we got a lot of sleepy things. There's like melatonin. There's that. I think there's like two other ones. Anyways.
Yeah. And so basically what caffeine does is it acts as adenosine. Because like there's these things called like receptors in your brain receptors. Mm-hmm. And they basically let in and out chemicals throughout your brain. Yeah. And so like a bouncer to a club. And so like caffeine is basically imitating adenosine. It's like...
So it tells us to go to sleep?
No. It can go through the brain receptor essentially. So like, it's like, okay, so it's like, think of it like this, like your brain sends out adenosine, and then, you know, it's like you're going to this club, and you can't get in because it's just full. And it's like, the adenosine's like, well, what the fuck? It's like, there's hella caffeine in there.
So essentially it doesn't allow your brain to register that it's time to go to sleep?
Because it's already full.
So it takes the place of it.
Yeah.
It takes up the space that
adenosine is meant to do.
That the hormone or chemical would normally take up.
Exactly.
Interesting.
But here's the thing. Okay, so now your brain is full of caffeine. What happens to the adenosine?
I don't fucking know it.
It stays there. And it waits.
Oh, is that the crash?
That's the crash.
Ah.
Yeah. So the thing is, bro, is that's why coffee can be like a real bad habit, because you're essentially just building up your adenosine. Yeah. And anytime you mess with your hormones and your chemicals like that, it's really not good for your body.
For sure, yeah.
You know, and you're essentially giving your body a huge chemical imbalance. Yeah. And especially with your brain, and that's going to catch up over time. That's why people who like go off coffee need to take multiple naps, because it's like leftover residue of adenosine just like hidden somewhere, just waiting to freaking...
Yeah, no, they're fucked. I used to go... Yeah, I still go in and out of it. Like especially when I was like super grinding League of Legends. Mm-hmm. You know. I got to a point in which I was so desperate to be good, because for the longest I was like, I will never fucking pump caffeine into my system in order to be wired, right? I was just like, I'm just going to get as good as possible, and I'm never going to rely on anything. Right. And then I got so desperate to where I was like, I don't give a fuck, I'm going to do whatever. And I literally, I would like sometimes, because if you guys don't know, like nicotine... So in like Korean culture, I mean, in a lot of Asian countries, like smoking is is like very popular, but I just know of a lot of Korean players, Koreans being like the best at like RTSs and MOBAs and shit like that. I mean, instead of Dota, but basically they smoke a lot, stereotypically. And so like I never understood it. I always just thought it was a cultural thing. But what I'm getting to is when you smoke cigarettes or like, you know, vape or whatever, anything with nicotine, it like, for some reason, the shit that would normally piss you off, it like doesn't. And like, I don't know, it just mellows you out. Everybody fucking knows this about cigarettes. You just get mellowed out.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it helps so much with my performance. So like I started to like consume nicotine. I started to consume caffeine, and like I would just didn't even give a fuck. Anyways, that's a tangent.
That's good.
Okay. So philosophy?
Yeah, philosophy and psychology. So we're just gonna like go through this little blitz round.
That's true. Philosophy and psychology. We covered some psychology.
Yeah, we did, huh?
Good shit, bro.
Yeah.
We're doing our thing.
All right, so I'm just gonna name off some topics, and then we're gonna see whether we like them or not.
Yeah. We wanted to make this shit as interesting as possible while also being interesting to us. So interesting for the both of us, ideally, you know, And so Mondo over here Googled something like philosophy topics, and we're basically just going to share the results, and then the things that we want to talk about, we're going to talk about, and the things that we don't, we won't. So not sure how long this is going to last, not sure how long this will go on, not sure if it'll bleed into the next episodes. I think we plan to come up with our own shit too, but I mean, if we don't, then like I guess this can be a decent fallback if it works. So
yeah. All right. So the first one is talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We talked about this in the previous episode.
We did.
And we mentioned it, but we didn't really go in depth to it. And I think that's something pretty cool to talk about. So, yeah, that's another thing.
Okay. We'll hit bullet points. Though I am curious because I see it. I didn't want to fucking see it, but it's fine. I didn't want to see it though. What the fuck is spiral dynamics? Do you know?
Yeah.
What is that?
So spiral dynamics is essentially how, in a vague way, it's basically like the state of a consciousness of the state of consciousness of a society.
So the collective consciousness.
Yes.
Within
a society.
I think I've actually heard of this.
And
thinking about it now.
And it's labeled in, I forgot who the psychologist or the it would be like a sociologist, I think.
Yeah, probably.
He basically rated them in colors. And so there's like stage red, orange, blue, green, turquoise, and yellow. They're not in that specific order, but each color represents a state of consciousness. So like red would represent someone, you know, in, I don't know, let's say there's like a village in the Galapagos Islands. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking like a village, like they still use spears.
Yeah, they sleep on mud and shit like that, or on dirt. Yeah, they live in huts. Yeah,
right. And you can, and like they still hang people, or they still like do
For
death.
sure. They're still pretty primitive.
Exactly. That would be stage red. You know what I mean? Stage orange, I guess we could see like more order, where it'd be like medieval times. You know what I mean? You have like a village society.
Basic tools and shit
basic
like that.
tools and like, you know, there's
probably
like,
still, maybe not electricity. If so, like maybe bare minimums.
Well, here's the thing: technology doesn't necessarily have to do with it, but it usually does because technology helps raise consciousness.
Interesting.
You know
Okay.
So and then
what's the highest?
I think it's turquoise.
What is turquoise?
One way to say it is enlightenment.
So there's no such thing.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, let's be fucking honest.
Yeah.
If there was a turquoise, we'd all be fucking turquoise because we'd be like, oh, look at them. They clearly have their shit together.
Yeah, no, for sure. Exactly. I think we're at least the United States is stage orange or stage blue. I can't remember. But it's like we're focused on like money and capitalistic, materialistic things. Kind of that kind of thing.
Interesting. So this gets a little political too.
Oh yeah, heavily. It's really interesting though. It's crazy.
Fuck. Okay. So you know what? Is this an edible? Edible? Weed edible? Editable.
Caffeine, everybody.
So what I want to do is, I want to read up on that, and then we'll talk about it.
Right now?
No, not right now. So what I want to do is like, I don't know, like just leave some fucking symbol, like put like a -R for like something that we'll go back to or something like that. I don't know, some bullshit. We'll just know what it means, you know?
Right.
All right. So do you want to talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, or what is the meaning of a good life? I like both of those, so you choose. I'll be honest, if we do talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you'll be carrying it. You'll be carrying the factual side. I'll contribute to the like philosophical side, but I actually am not very knowledgeable about that either.
I mean,
I understand
neither am I, and I think that's going to take a little more research between me
we'll
and
put
you.
-R. Fuck it.
Yeah, with -R.
All right.
That's another.
I like the third one though.
Yeah, let's do that one then.
I'm sorry if my cup is making an annoying noise.
You know what? I want to leave this like a link down below, so then the fans
yeah,
can check
we'll
it
do
out.
that.
And if you guys if you guys see a topic there that you guys want us to talk about, we're so down.
Oh, fuck it. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, I think that'd be really cool. We'll leave a link
throw
down
that to the
below,
top. Mm-hmm.
and then you guys can just check it out. Look at that list.
Or any topics. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Anything.
anything too. Like, if you guys have any questions, like, we'll definitely try to have philosophical stuff about that. So, I guess this topic is basically, what is the meaning of a good life?
So, are we talking about happy, healthy? What is good? Good's very fucking
Right.
vague.
No, good is very interesting, and I think that's.
Are we talking about moral?
Right. So, let's just look at the question. It says, "What is the meaning of a good life?" So we're essentially talking about that right now. We're essentially trying to discuss what the definition is of good. Right?
Okay, yeah, this is something that we can be technical with it, we can be literal, we can be experimental. At the end of the day, it's gonna be, first off, we're gonna have to decide what the fuck good means, and then we can actually go into it. So what do we want good to mean? Because it could mean moral, like good versus bad, evil versus like saint. It can mean good like happy, it can mean good like healthy. Those are three very different things. You can live a happy life and be unhealthy, a healthy life and be unhappy. This is debatable, but I believe that. So,
Sorry,
what
guys.
do we want to talk about? Happy moral, which I'm super fucking down for because
Yeah,
my
me
morals
too.
are like very interesting. Happy or healthy? Which one? Or technically, we can spend the entire fucking episode on this and go over all three. Technically,
We really could.
we could.
We could.
All right, so fuck it. We'll choose one, and if we want to go on to another, we will.
Okay. All right.
So choose one.
Moral, happy, or
Healthy.
healthy. Man, they're all intertwined. That's the thing.
Yeah, I think they. I don't think moral covers happier. Okay, moral I think can intertwine with happy a little bit. I don't think it intertwines with healthy at all. And then at least not. I mean, it's debatable, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Choose one.
We'll go with moral.
Moral. Okay. All right. Living a good life versus a bad life. So I guess for starters, a good life would be one in which you probably are a positive contributor to a community, right? Probably one in which you facilitate healthy relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah. We'll get into this. What does a good life mean to you? Like, what does a good life mean to you? And do you care about living a good life from a moral perspective? Like, do you care about? Because I guess the question the question that this is asking in this sense is like, what is being a good person? I think, right?
Yeah. No. Like exactly. Right? Like what? It's not even that too though, because a good life is essentially, it involves being a good person, but it's also like living your life too as well.
Well, yeah, but I think that goes into happy. But we're talking about morals. So living your life isn't morally good or bad, I don't think.
Okay, so you're saying like,
so just on the topic of morals, do you like?
It's almost like as if like a society were answering that question. what is the
It
meaning
can
of a
be,
good
and
life?
so that's the reason why I started asking you, because my thoughts started to bleed into the societal views, but I have my own views that are very contrary to society.
Exactly. No,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think that's a very good point. So,
Fuck society. Let's talk about you. What do you think makes a good person? Something that I find interesting, and this might give you some ideas, is there's a thought that I don't know if, so one thing to think about is like being a good person, like often at face value means that like lying to someone when it's going to hurt their feelings, right? Like hiding things from them that they can't handle, right? And this is something that I actually talked with a friend about not too long ago. Like at face value, a lot of people might see this as like a good deed, something good. You're shouldering the burden of information that you don't want. Fuck, did you tell me this story? There was a story about someone who like, I know you totally didn't. Maybe you did. Someone's mother or like grandmother or some shit died, and they told, and his parents told him or her, whatever, that that they were just away at a trip or some shit like that. Like they went to a different country and they're like staying with family, and they just kept on telling him that, or some shit like that, and then like never told him the truth. Mm-hmm. I don't fucking know, but basically, like it's an example of like a situation in which you lie to someone to like so that they don't feel bad, so that they don't go through that grieving process of like, oh, this person's dead. Right. They just think that they're just somewhere else, right? They're gone. I don't agree with that, but yeah, so that's something that I think we would get into. What do you think makes a good person?
This is interesting.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
It's a bit broad of a question. But.
Right, no, exactly. Well, we first have to deconstruct, like, good and bad, right? Like, first of all, like, good and bad, I'm not going to get too deep into this, but it needs to be talked about in order to understand what I'm about to say. Is essentially, like, good and bad, it's like a spectrum. It's not this black and white thing. It's a spectrum. And there's a lot of gray area, and that's why there's, like, a lot of controversy in the world, because there's a lot of beliefs and disbeliefs of what is good and what is bad. So if we're going to talk through a moral perspective and seeing through a society perspective of what good is, essentially it's someone who contributes to the society, simultaneously that person living a, like, I guess, good life in a sense, where it's, to me, I paint this. So we're not talking about society, right?
Nah, because, like, everybody knows what society wants. Like, we all fucking know that, like, racism's bad and, like, treat people how you want to be treated. And we fucking know that, like, care about the earth and, like, you know, the SJW shit. Like, we all fucking know it.
So you're talking about for self. For self.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about for you. I'm wondering, because,
okay,
like...
I see what you mean.
Yeah,
Okay, no, I get it.
I don't know, because this is such a big thing. Like, it really is hard to, like, make this I guess, I don't know. I think this is something that we can sum up really easily.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel right to sum it up easily because it's such an open-ended fucking question.
So we'll try our best. For me, what is a good life for me? What is the meaning of a good life for me?
Yeah.
Man.
Like, at the end of your fucking day, on your deathbed, what will you...
Reminisce.
What kind of life would you like to view as, and you would see that ideally as like a life that you felt was good in terms of morals? Like you feel like you were a good person.
Right. For me, it would be just realizing, not realizing, but like constantly learning, and like learning about wisdom, practicing wisdom, finding a way to like help the world somehow, you know, like I guess essentially making
kind of like how Hitler was helping the world.
Huh?
I said kind of like how Hitler was helping the world, cleansing it of all its impurities. Oh god, that was a good dude. Let's fucking go.
No, my god. That's so bad. Right. Well, I mean, like in terms of like that, right? Because like maybe he thought he was
exactly. It's all fucking perspectives. If I
Right.
had him on the other side of this couch and I asked him that question, that would be his response. He's like, I'm doing this world a massive favor, bro.
Right.
I'm making us humans the most superior version of ourselves.
Or Thanos from Marvel.
I did not see that shit. You can't reference that and it's
God, dude.
I know,
People
man.
are not gonna like
I know,
that,
dude. I
okay,
fucking
well,
know.
basically, Thanos, his whole thing is collect these stones that are super magical, and he can just like they're give him godlike powers, and his whole objective is to kill half of life of a universe.
Yeah.
To cleanse it. Because he's saying that
He succeeded with that.
He did, yeah. And then
how the fuck is killing half gonna do anything?
It's essentially because what happens is all resources are finite, and so like the thing with like think of like overpopulation.
Yeah,
there's not enough chips to like go around
for sure.
So essentially, either one you can find a new.
So you off half the people,
and then things regrow back. They're prosperous. You know, like Mother Nature gets a break from trying to feed all these mouths, and essentially, you know, you're restarting from the get go.
Yeah, I just disagree with that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, but it's not because you're killing people.
Right.
It's not that at all. I don't give a fuck. Like quite honestly, if killing half of the population of the world was the answer to all of our problems, I'd be like, okay, do it. And if I was one of those people to die, I'd be like, okay, fuck it.
Well, I'm on the same page too.
But it's not. The reason why is because it's not sustainable.
Exactly.
Shit's gonna repeat.
No, exactly.
And what are we gonna do? Keep on killing people?
Yeah, no, exactly.
So
exactly.
Thanos is fucking stupid. Fucking think, Thanos. God damn it. You have such a big fucking head.
I mean, he did do half the universe. Oh, that was impressive.
That's impressive, but stupid.
Thanos, right. Jordan kicks Thanos' ass.
Yeah, that's part 2 of this.
Yeah, no, so so like living a good life is just completely based on perspective and essentially where you hold your values are at.
For sure.
And where it gets tricky is like what values are considered correct and what values are considered not correct.
Yeah, I mean,
since it's completely based on perspective, essentially a good life is so subjective you can't even put a bar on it.
Oh, of course.
You know,
it's just a bar that you yourself
one person's like good life is considered bad, right? You know, it's like okay.
Okay. So, do you feel like you've adequately shared your version of a good life?
No, I need because even though that there's all this like mess, that there's all this complexity when it comes to good life and meaning of a good life. Essentially, I think for me, it's like, you know, learning, growing, being present in the journey and just like essentially just trying to become the best version of yourself. I think that is probably the meaning of a good life to me on a very tangible note, because there's something really amazing when you work on yourself and when you improve on yourself and you see results and you see how you've changed and see how you've grown and just see how you've influenced others. I mean, that's something very beautiful. That's very something wow. Which leads me to believe that there is like there's essentially like good, but like we're gonna break it down to like good with a capital G.
Okay.
Yeah, compared to like good, like almost like an absolute.
Yeah, something that's inarguable, right?
Inarguable,
and that's kind of the route that I'm trying to get to. Ultimately, I don't think either of us are gonna have good lives or versions of good people that is absolute, because good isn't absolute. But I think there is potentially an absolute way of describing it. Like you said, to consistently like better yourself, right?
Right.
To try to consistently become a better version of yourself. And I would agree in many ways that like that's kind of like the best you, but that requires like open-mindedness. And that, I mean, the thing is like you could consistently be trying to better yourself, but in just the wrong fucking directions.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
and so
totally,
it's just like, you know,
totally.
like you could learn, you could get it in your head very early on that like the best way, like the best way to be the best you is to make as much money as possible. Let's just say, because that's how a lot of people already think. And so like you work your entire fucking life just trying to scramble your fucking brain. How can I make the most money as possible before I die?
All right.
And it's like, the fuck did that do for the world? Like, realistically, like, imagine if Jeff Bezos didn't do any fucking charity work.
Right.
I mean, not that it's really that meaningful anyways, but let's just say that he didn't do anything for this fucking world except for stack paper on paper and feed his family.
All right.
Fuck did he do? Like, he's not a good person for that. He's not a bad person, but he's not a good person for that.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's hard as fuck to describe or to define.
It would even just show in his work too, right? Like if Jeff Bezos didn't have that good intention in his mind, we wouldn't be able to get Amazon packages within 2 days or 1 day.
I mean, potentially, but
I mean, yeah,
I think he does it to make as much money as possible.
Right. No, but exactly. But like, what happens is when what you see is when people only care about money, they don't care about customer service. They don't care about essentially like customer reviews, only to a sense for a money perspective. So
I disagree. I think that the biggest incentive for customer service is money. I think that it's a positive feedback loop. The better your customer service is, the more people want to go to your product, the more money you make. That's how you retain customers.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. But you can't cheat that only for going for greed.
You can. It's the same way a sociopath, like such, is kind to people. I don't fucking care about them, but I know that it's going to elicit the response that I want. So I'm nice to them. You know, I'm going to open the door for you, not because I give a shit about you, but because I know it's going to improve my image in your mind, and you're going to treat me better for it.
Okay, interesting. So
yeah. So it has nothing. Like, my actions may be good, but my actual intent,
right? Okay,
is not there.
But here's the thing: what I'm trying to go at is like, it's going to catch up in the long run. Like, it'll show. Because
potentially.
It works on the temporary very well. Both work on the temporary. Both work on the mid to long term, right? But you could see the flaws within one side compared to the other one.
Yeah, I would say especially in an extreme example, yeah, because humans, like, we're not perfect. We're not like there's nobody who has like an all-knowing intelligence or like an all-perceptive intelligence. Like, there's no one who like sees every single angle. So yeah, they're probably going to slip up in some ways if their intents aren't actually there. But then that's just someone that
Yeah, no, and I think you're right. You essentially can cheat it, right? Like, it does happen. But I guess what I was trying to go for is cheat it consistently. Like, can you cheat it every single time?
It really just fucking depends.
Right, no, and it does. But it's more of like now it comes down to probability, right? Like, the person who's essentially on that quote-unquote good life, that path to good life, has increased his probability of cheating or going through that path a lot more easier for carrying more customers than care about money. Not to say that the person who cares about more money than customers can't do the same thing, but I bet it's like, I bet me and you can agree on that the probability is less than the other person.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. I would say the only thing that I would say is, so you have someone like, and this is spiraling into something. I feel like if you want to keep going, we can, but maybe we go into a different topic after what I say. Something interesting about Jeff Bezos, because we are talking about him, and I don't necessarily think that he's a bad person. I don't necessarily think that he's a good person. I think that, similar to like Mark Zuckerberg, he's just like, he sees money and he sees business, and he's just doing his thing. Though I you take someone like Elon Musk, who's like doing SpaceX, doing fucking the Boring Company, shit like that, and they're like furthering. We're talking about such basic podcast shit, by the way.
Yeah, no, for
sure. But they're furthering like the human existence, right? Especially someone like Elon Musk. I mean, he's trying to take us to Mars. That's like his goal, right?
Right.
And like people who like work really closely with him, they talk about how like every thought, every action within his day is always towards that goal, which is fucking crazy, by the way.
Right.
But yeah, on that topic, something that Jeff Bezos does. This is what I was talking about. Is like, he treats his fucking employees like garbage, bro. Like garbage. Oh. All Amazon employees are like, I was an Amazon employee. I fucking hated that shit. It was fucking trash. Like, it's the worst fucking working environment out of all like the fucking 6 or 5 jobs that I've had. It's by far the worst.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, it's just fucking terrible. And like, the pay's okay, but the actual work, like, I would rather take a pay cut and then have the work environment be better. Now, maybe it just wasn't for me.
Right.
But in my opinion, through the way that they treat their employees, he could either have better financial compensation or better work environment. And, they do their best, but whatever, fuck it. My point is, I believe he's like conscious of this. I think he knows he, like, generally speaking, like, Amazon like production facilities and shit like that. They're like fucking like not too far. I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna say it. Not too far from sweatshops, and it really isn't, because I haven't seen a fucking sweatshop. But just my idea of a sweatshop. I mean, they really work their fucking employees to the bone.
Right.
And I'm saying this all to say, like, it's like that for the sake of efficiency, right? It's like that for the sake of like of milking every single last cent out of that company that he can. And the question that I just ask is like, is that like is that like a respectable effort or not? You know, like is that good or not? Because it really depends on what he does with the funds. Take someone like Elon Musk, and he's actually trying to take all these fucking billions of dollars and put it into something that quite literally might change the human race forever, for the better, forever. Right? Especially like Tesla type shit. Like, that's really good. So it's like, okay, yeah, stack your billions, man, because you're actually helping us. You're doing shit that nobody else is going to do. The government isn't going to do that. So, yeah, it's all debatable.
That's that's very interesting, because I know 2 people who've worked at Amazon and told me that they loved it.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Who?
My mom and my old workout buddy.
I worked with her mom. I worked with your mom. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, she loved it. She loved working.
What did she like about it?
She said she just loved about how first of all, she liked the people. And
people were okay. Continue.
And she just liked how simple it was, and it wasn't that complicated. And she also liked, because it was very physical labor, and she said she was like, she lost like 30 pounds working there.
I definitely can fucking relate to that, bro. I lost some pounds too.
And I mean, I know how like the scheduling though is pretty whack when it comes to that.
It's inconsistent as fuck. I mean, the thing is like it's consistent, and it's very rare that you're going to not be able to work, because more people is more people. You push more product, you're good, and it's never ending product. But yeah, scheduling's weird. Continue.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I remember I saw like a Jeff Bezos interview, and I mean, there's things that he does. He's like trying to fund a school for like the blind and the deaf, and like he's like funding like he's actually starting an education.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty rad,
No, for sure.
And
I feel like just one sec. I feel like it's really hard to find someone who's like a billionaire and they're not doing some good shit.
Right.
And I always just question, because maybe it's just my skepticism, but I always question, why are you doing the good? Why are you doing the good?
Right.
Because quite honestly, do you need billions? I don't fucking know. But I really don't know. But are you doing this good so that people don't question the billions that you have? Right? Because I'll tell you what, I don't question Elon Musk's riches. I don't, because of the good that he's doing. Right? Is he doing that good so I don't question his riches? You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. I think Elon has made a way to capture people's like attention through the project that he's doing.
For sure.
Like, and I'm not saying that, because I'm not like interested in Jeff Bezos. I'm just like, oh, he's the CEO guy.
Yeah.
Like he's like the richest guy in the world. I'm not interested into like Microsoft, into Bill Gates.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Mark Zuckerberg, yeah, because they made a movie about him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Because there's the spotlight on them. And I think Elon Musk has that spotlight, especially after smoking that blunt with Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know how many young people he's like got their attention towards too?
For sure. But he's had it. He's had it because of his Twitter account. He's had it because of his companies. He's had it because of the way he connects with the public.
Is he worked for PayPal? He was the CEO.
Yeah. He was the CEO. That's how he got his riches.
Nobody knew who the fuck he was before then.
Nah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah,
and PayPal was pretty big.
No, it was, but he wasn't like the face of it.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I think Jeff Bezos isn't essentially like finding that way of putting that spotlight on him, or hasn't been put on. Maybe it is, but no one's just like, I feel like if you want to know more about Jeff Bezos, you have to go out there and actively seek it. You can't just stumble upon a little Joe Rogan TikTok of Elon Musk smoking weed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like, same with like Mark Zuckerberg. Like they made a fucking movie about him.
Yeah.
Like boom, there's that spotlight.
That's true. No,
and so like they
point.
get that attention, and then we see what they're doing, and then we like highlight on their projects. And so, it's hard for me to say, because I don't research Jeff Bezos. I don't look at him up, or I don't see what he's doing or this and that. And I'm sure he's doing good, but maybe he doesn't like brag about it. You know what I mean?
That's true. And let's be
And
honest,
Elon
that's
Musk
even more honorable.
Exactly. And Elon Musk doesn't even brag about it either. There's just a
No, he
spotlight
doesn't.
on him.
Yeah,
There's a
there's just a
camera on
spotlight.
him. You know?
That's true, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, man, we covered a lot of shit. All right, well, I mean, do you think we milked the question?
Yeah, I think we did. You know,
Right.
it's that's an interesting one. Meaning of a good
No,
life.
it is, and like it's one of those things that's just so fucking open ended. You could like, yeah, we could have done this entire episode just off of that one,
Right,
just off
right.
of that 1/3 of the question. But
Right. Okay.
do we?
I'm down for. Do you want to go to the different topics of the good meaning? 'Cause,
Yeah, which one do you want to do? I'm super fucking indifferent.
so
Like,
we just said moral, right?
yeah, we did moral. So then the other ones is healthy and happy.
Okay, let's do happy.
Okay. Yeah, so what's the meaning of a happy life? This is the one that I think is the most interesting to me because this is the one that I'm seeking the answer to the most often.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't really care about being a good person. I care about being a happy person because I'm selfish.
Interesting. See, I'm glad you got that distinction though.
Yeah.
And that's where I think a lot of people have trouble deciphering between the difference
for sure.
of a good life and a happy life.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And there is a difference.
There's a big fucking difference. There's a big fucking
huge
difference.
You know, oh my God, it was from what was his name? Psychology GG or whatever. His name
Healthy
is?
Gamer GG.
Healthy Gamer
Yeah.
GG. So I was watching one of his shit, and he was talking about this story about essentially these two kings.
Yeah, dude, you watched it? Yeah, dude, I saw that. Yeah.
And he basically said like that one of the kings was all like, you know, we could just what was it like? Oh, you can't attack. So, oh my God, I don't even want to explain the story. It's gonna be so complicated.
No. Okay, well, fuck. You know what the thing is I'm not even sure if where you're going with this is going to help you that much.
Yeah.
But I can't explain it because I think I know it pretty good. Essentially, there's two kings, or there's like two like kingdoms, and in ancient India or like old time India, I don't know what the fuck to call it. There was a a war treaty that like when the sun goes down, you stop fighting.
Right.
Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so one of the kings. So one of the kings, I fucking forget what the first one did, but essentially one of the kings upheld that rule and lost the war, and then the other king upheld the rule. Well, essentially there was an eclipse, and so because of the eclipse, the sun went down, which means you stop the war. But for whatever reason, he talked to like a scientist or some shit, and he knew that it was going to be an eclipse, and so he told his men, the sun's going to go down for about 10 minutes, and then when it comes back up, have your swords and armor ready for when the sun comes back up. They're going to think that it's just nighttime,
Right.
but have it ready so that when they're off guard, we slaughter them all. And he did so.
Yeah.
And both of them followed the rules, but one was kind of,
Was
conniving.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what I mean? It's kind of like,
and that's the difference between someone who's, they're both like good, but obviously you wouldn't see the other guy as good, but he's the guy who's happy.
right.
Yeah.
Right. No, exactly. And I don't know if that kind of made sense.
Probably fucking not, but this is for us anyway, so fuck you.
I disagree with that. This is for you guys. But to get a better explanation is essentially happiness comes from like a selfish place and good comes from a selfless place.
Yeah.
That's a very simple way of putting it. And obviously, there's multiple exceptions for this.
Yeah, there's a lot of dynamics.
I don't want you guys. I mean, you can blow up the comments or whatever, but it's basically like, yeah, there's a ton of exceptions for this. There's happy and good. There's good and good. There's, those exist as well.
For sure, yeah.
But
There's
what we're
overlaps,
focusing,
parallels, gray areas.
Yeah, no, exactly. But what we're focusing on is just like the general idea and the difference between two. And so essentially, like good is selfless and happy is selfish. You can understand this through the concept of what is happiness. Happiness comes from a position of a low and then overcoming that position, hitting a peak, and then coming back down. That's essentially happiness. It's realizing you're in a rut, you have a goal, and you want to achieve it. You achieve that goal, and you're happy temporarily. You're excited. You're jittery. You're like, whoa, yeah, I fucking did it.
I think that's a very specific example of happiness because there's a lot of different happinesses. Like like bliss can be seen as happy. Like contentment can be seen as happy. And like bliss, like reaching a state of bliss, it's not really bliss isn't really something that that comes from like being in a low, coming to a high, and then back down to a low. Like bliss doesn't happen in that high. Bliss is more of like a state of mind that you just can be in the present. You're blissful then, and then you just aren't blissful at some point. Yeah, but I don't even think bliss and fulfillment are the same thing. You know what? Yeah, I don't think it's the same thing. I think bliss can happen momentarily, whereas fulfillment, I think happens. I think fulfillment is more of like something that you ride out. Like you're fulfilled for a period of time, and then maybe it continues, maybe it doesn't.
Would you see fulfillment with good? Like correlating with good or correlating with happiness?
Definitely with happiness.
Interesting.
You think it as good?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because
this is really interesting.
Because like I think happiness is kind of like this primitive part of your brain, where it's like, it's just essentially a primitive part of your brain. Where
it's me. It's my survival. It's my
temporary. Yeah. And then fulfillment is essentially the mind. It's essentially like the smart part of the brain, like the consciousness of like higher self. But I guess
probably.
I guess fulfillment is very interchangeable, because sometimes like I am fulfilled.
Yeah.
And to say that, it's like, well, are you fulfilled for life or are you fulfilled for now?
Well, exactly. And
right?
I don't think you can ever be fulfilled for life. I think that's impossible, because I think fulfillment is very similar to happiness in the sense that it's
just longer.
It's something that I think it can be, but like you talk about like a lot of people talk about like high profile athletes and shit like that, and how like Super Bowl winners and shit, they're happy for like a day. They're fulfilled for a day after they win the Super Bowl. When they're when one of the a lot of people talk about this, like star football players, star basketball players, star fucking League of Legends players, like Double Lift, if you know who that is. He talks about it, how like when he wins a fucking trophy, he's happy for like 10 fucking minutes, bro. He's fulfilled. He's on top of the world, and he's like, he's good, bro. He can take a back seat and like just enjoy his life for like 10 minutes. And then, all right, what's the next thing? Back to work. How am I gonna fucking do better? And so it's like I believe you can be fulfilled. And there's always arguments. It's like, well, that's contentment, not fulfillment. But like, isn't that the same thing? I don't fucking know. But I think you can be fulfilled for like a very short period of time, and it still be fulfillment.
Okay, I see what you mean.
But then again, there's also the other side of fulfillment, which is what I think you were talking about, which is an activity can be fulfilling.
Yeah.
And that's a state of mind and not like an emotion.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know what? Fuck it. Let's go with that, because that sounds better to me. I think fulfillment should be a state of mind, not an emotion. I think in those moments in which, like what I was talking about, like the athletes, I think they're happy. I don't think they're fulfilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I just learned something. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah.
I gotta mark this.
Why? Because I clipped it.
No, yeah, I'm gonna do a compilation of all like the mind explosions that we had.
Okay, fuck yeah. I like that.
It's good. Oh man, I gotta turn down the gain a little bit.
That's what I thought you were talking about, that because I'm fucking shouting.
Yeah, no, but whatever, it's fine. I could just
it'll be fine.
I could just lower the volume in the editing software. Yeah. But yeah, no. Yeah.
Nice.
It's fulfillment.
Okay, so
and then do you want to keep talking about this, or you want to go to the other?
Depends. Do you feel like we fleshed this out?
Essentially, it was the difference between happiness and good, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's something that we covered.
I think we focused on happiness.
Yeah, I mean, we focus a lot on happiness.
So let's focus on good.
Well, we already talked about good. We already talked about what a good life is.
It's essentially just selflessness.
No, selflessness. Yeah, selflessness.
And it's
in its root, being good is being selfless, or like, yeah,
right, and it could be like it could be something as simple like let's say you're on a date, and you have the option to like open the door for a girl, or not. Like do you want to come off as that like asshole?
For sure, but I think good is completely separate from your actions, and it's 100% comes down to your intent. Because I'll tell you what, when I open the door for a girl, it's not because I give a fuck. I'm telling you, it's not because I want to. It's because I know what that's going to make her feel. I know what that's going to make me look like. It's going to make me look like a gentleman. It's going to make me look better. And so I'm going to do it. It's not because I'm like, oh, you're so precious to me. I don't want you to have to fucking lift this door. I'm like, bitch, you can lift the fucking door. I know you can. Like, no. It's probably better for you to get the exercise. Come on now. Like,
oh shit.
Like, yeah, like, dude, like like, dude, I remember growing up, it would always fucking piss me off, the idea, because, like, I helped a lot of people move growing up, you know, friends and family and shit like that. And so, like, you know, it was the same thing every single time. All the women and shit, they got drinks for the guys, and they cooked, they made the sandwiches and shit like that, and all the fucking men lifted the heavy boxes and moved the couch and shit like that. You know, and it was always the same thing of, like, I'm busting my ass, sweating my fucking ass off like I am right now. I'm tired as fuck at the end of the day, and I look at the women, and they're like, they're chilling down with a fucking cup of wine and shit like that. I'm like, why the fuck am I working and you aren't? And from a logical perspective, I just thought, there's no reason why I'm doing work and you shouldn't be. You need exercise just like I do. You have muscles just like I do. Maybe yours aren't defined as mine. But part of that is because you're fucking not working and I am, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, it just never fucking made... I'm like, if anything, you should be working harder so that you can become strong like a man. Not that that's what a woman should strive for, but, right, we all want to be, like... We all want to have strength, right? We all want to have fitness, right? Fitness is healthy. And so fitness is something we should all strive for. Anyways, but yeah, but obviously I came to the conclusion that... Fuck, what was I talking about? Oh shit, dude. Oh my god, okay. What the fuck was I talking? Whatever. Wow, I actually completely lost it.
You're talking... Honestly, I kind of lost me too. Something about... I said, like, opening a door for a girl.
Doing something nice, courteous. Gentlemen.
And talking about...
Whatever, fuck
intentions and good.
Yeah, I got way fucking off.
Yeah.
Oh shit, my bad, boys. Oh shit.
No, but I actually totally agree with you because it's something as someone who's like, who doesn't have, let's say someone's like really negative.
Oh shit, intent. I'm sorry, intent. Yeah. Intent. I didn't have a good intent. I was doing a good action, but I didn't have a good intent, and therefore I do not see that as me being a good person.
I totally agree with you.
Okay.
Because you know, it's like, oh man, it's very interesting because it's like when you tell someone, oh, like, hey, that's not how you do this. This is how you do it. This is how you do the right thing. Let's say someone fucked up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, oh, dude.
They did it bad. You're going to tell them how to do it good.
Right? And you tell them how to do it good. They're going to do the good because they essentially have just been told what the good is.
That's part of it, but you can also do it good because you've been enlightened to the effects of your bad.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. But I'm talking about the other perspective. What you're talking
for sure.
about.
Like you're just following societal standards and shit like that.
Exactly. And so it's like, are you actually doing good? Because I'm just doing this because I've been told to do this. Yeah. And this is what I've been told. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't really care. I'm just going to do it because this is what I've been told. Yeah. And it's like the same thing. It's like, okay, you're doing it just because you've been told. You're essentially not having like, but you don't have like the good intentions of doing it. You know what I mean? And I think
it's not coming from a courteous place. It's not coming from
it comes
a considerate
from like a core, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it comes from a selfish place. It comes from you looking out for yourself. You don't want to be ridiculed. Right. You don't want to be criticized.
Exactly.
And so you're going to do something for someone else.
Right.
But it all comes down to back to you. And this is something that I used to explore a lot. And I used to talk about this with my ex a lot. I don't, for the longest time, I didn't believe in altruism.
What is that?
I still, it's basically the idea or the concept of doing something, for someone else with no benefit for yourself. Basically selflessness, right? Okay. It's the concept of selflessness. To do something that you get completely nothing out of.
Okay.
Right? And like, it's really hard to imagine that there's any action that's truly altruistic. And, you know, you can pick apart the fucking meaning and you can pick apart the fact that like, yeah, I mean, technically, like, it's impossible. Like, you could argue it forever. Like, what's something that's completely selfish that you can think of? Selfless. Something that like the most selfless fucking kind act you could possibly think of.
Taking a bullet for someone?
Okay. You taking that bullet for someone, let's say it even results in your death. You taking that bullet for someone could make you feel better about yourself in that moment, and you could also anticipate that if you knew that you could take the bullet, or you could also argue if said person knew that they could take the bullet and they didn't take the bullet for them, then they would feel bad about it in the future. So to prevent them from feeling bad, they take the bullet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Selfish, right? They're taking the bullet so they don't have to feel bad in the future. Mm-hmm. And you can spin every action like that. Every fucking totally action. Can. And it really makes you question, is there anything that we do and we get nothing out of it? Nothing. Mm. I don't fucking know.
And you know what's interesting? You could also spin it the other way too. Where it's like, it is altruism. You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
Well, it's basically like, well, maybe that person actually did come from a place of actual like, just selflessness.
True.
You know what I mean? You could see true. It. It's like you have the option to like see it which way you want to see it. Like both rabbit holes go really deep.
I suppose. I think in order to believe someone's intents are truly selfish, obviously believing someone's intents selfless is just up to trust. You'll never actually know if someone's selfless or not. Yeah. You just have to trust it. But for yourself, because this is what I actually care about, for myself, in order to know that I'm actually doing something selflessly, I don't fucking know. Because I'll be honest, I can't think of a single thing I've done in my life that's selfless. Not a single fucking thing. Like purely selfish. Like I mean purely sacrificing, like only sacrifice on my end and only gain on the other person's end.
And you know what? I think that makes a lot of sense. Because there's this thing in us called ego. And
very, very, very acquainted with it.
And it's everywhere we go. Like no matter, like every single day you have to wrestle with your ego, no matter what.
I would argue, but I'd say the average person, yeah. I'd say the average person 100%. I don't think it's something that we are
wrestling or
No. I don't think it's something that we are there's a word for this. I don't think it's something we're doomed to have to wrestle with forever, but I think it's something that we do wrestle with forever. I think it's possible to achieve a state of mind in which you're not wrestling with your ego, though.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Enlightenment.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. No, you're completely right. Enlightenment. Enlightenment is quite literally like a death of the ego.
Yeah.
Like, you are no longer looking for gratification. You're no longer wrestling your ego. You've completely accepted reality, and you're just moving forward. Like, yeah. So I mean, and I do believe in enlightenment.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah. So yes, I agree. Us fucking plebs of the world, like especially the fucking Americans, like yeah, we're all wrestling with the ego 100%, and like the vast majority of us don't even fucking know it.
Right.
Like even me, like I've been diving so deep into like ego and like what it really means to do things like out of ego and out of feeding the ego. Nice. And you know, not to say that I'm some fucking grandiose person, but even me, someone who's putting a lot of effort into being conscious of what I'm trying to do out of ego, still does so many things out of like in order to feed my ego and is completely unaware of it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Totally. And yeah, and I think that's like essentially like another like big distinction between happy and good. It's ego or no ego. You know, it's like, are you like that goes back to intent. Like, are you doing it for the ego or are you doing it for the no ego?
That's true.
You know, like someone on the path of like take like someone on the path of enlightenment. Their action could be coming from an intent of non-ego. But here's the thing.
But it could still be for themselves.
Exactly, because like they're probably in a paradigm where it's like, I want to achieve something for me, so I'm going to do this act so I can achieve closer to enlightenment. And
that's part of it.
They're telling themselves they're coming from like a place of non-ego.
Well, I think I'll let you finish.
But then they do, because it's.
I think part of enlightenment is also being, or having the. I mean, this gets into fucking opinions, but I would like to believe that part of enlightenment would be being completely honest with yourself and your actions.
True.
And so I think that an enlightened person can definitely do something for themselves and also be be completely realistic and honest with the fact that they're doing it for themselves.
Yeah.
Let's say fucking.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I mean, fuck examples. I mean, yeah. Like I think that I don't think that it's you know, out of the question that someone who's quote unquote enlightened like wouldn't do something for themselves. Completely out of like selfishness or just something that only they benefit from.
For those of you wondering, enlightenment, I don't know the title definition.
I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up.
It's like a fucking state of mind.
Yeah, essentially. I'm just gonna look it up real quick because I know a lot of people don't know what it means.
I mean, fuck it, I don't even fully know what it means. And also, I part of me doesn't even trust definitions.
Yeah, same. Especially with a topic like this.
Exactly. The action of lightning being a state.
It doesn't even.
Nice. Yeah, I know.
It doesn't even.
The action of enlightening or in the state of being enlightened.
Yeah.
Thank you, Google. Thanks,
even
man.
Google doesn't know what it is. I mean, it's just like it's just a state of consciousness.
Well, yeah. I mean,
where it's like we
talked about that.
It's like you just like stage turquoise in social and like spiral dynamics.
Okay. The Enlightenment was a 17th and 18th century intellectual movement emphasizing reason, individualism, skepticism, and science. I don't think that's the Enlightenment we're talking about. That's like very earthly enlightenment.
Yeah. We're talking like transcendence.
Exactly. Spiritual transcendence.
Like monks.
Exactly.
And like spiritual gurus. And like they're quote unquote can be enlightened.
All right, add this to the fucking thing. We'll read up on this. We'll read up on this.
I like how passionate you get. Add this to the thing.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, this coffee's doing wonders for me.
Add this to the thing.
So just add enlightenment and do an R. And also fucking link, like, I don't know, email this shit to me or something. I don't know. Or I guess if you post this fast enough, then I can go to the video.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I think that was it. I think that was the 3 topics for that.
No, we talked about the moral. We talked about happiness. We didn't talk about healthy.
Oh.
Do we want to talk about healthy though?
I feel like it's pretty simple.
It is pretty simple. Living a healthy. Well, there is something to talk about here though. There is some I don't know if I'd say controversy, but there is like complexity within this.
Okay.
Something that I've also been thinking about. So like healthy. A lot of people think that taking medications is healthy. Like a lot of people think like, oh, I need to take this antidepressant for my mental health.
Interesting.
Right? Or like, yeah, I need to.
For sure. Let's fucking talk about this.
Yeah, it's complex. The nitty-gritty shit.
Sure,
yeah, right.
Because that is one of the main reasons why I did not become a psychologist.
Yeah.
That is
same.
That is the exact reason why I changed my college major to business and then dropped out.
That's so crazy that you also were interested in psychology and then wanted to do business. Yeah. But now I'm thinking back to psychology because of Healthy Gamer.
Yeah, me too.
He hasn't recommended drugs to a single fucking person, and he's helped so many fucking people. I'm like, oh, if he can fucking do it, I can fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like, and also, there is a practice of psychology that doesn't have to do with drugs at all. Continue.
Counseling, right?
Yeah, counseling, but also counseling. There's like therapy, but not like,
right.
Actual therapy.
We should take a class together and then just like rip it out.
Potentially. I also fucking hate school, so probably not.
Me too. I mean, because me and you would take it, I think it would.
Perhaps. We can talk about that. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I love psychology. I took a psychology class. It didn't even feel like a class. I was so excited.
Yeah, and I can definitely see that happening too. I could definitely see it not even feeling like a class. Potentially. I mean, the thing is I'd be spending money on something that, and I'm only gonna, I can. We'll talk about this later.
Okay.
We'll not talk about this here.
Okay.
But we can talk about it.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, so healthy, right? So this kind of goes to, I guess, also physical health.
Yeah.
But I guess we're mainly going to focus on mental health as well. Physical health is I guess, pretty simple in a sense where it's just, you essentially want to have a healthy physical body.
Yeah, physical health is very straightforward, yeah.
Because it's like your body's like a vehicle and like you're the passenger, right? And you're just like on this road called life and you want to make your vehicle last as long as possible.
Yeah.
Because you don't want life is like it can be this. You're like sometimes you're in the middle of the desert, sometimes you're in Vegas, sometimes you're in a jungle, sometimes you're in the Amazon. It's called life. Shit changes, right? But let's say it's raining and thunderstorm. There's a tornado and your car breaks down. You get a flat tire. You know what I mean? It's stuffy things where it's like your mind is the passenger and your body is this vehicle, and you essentially just need to take care of it to go along this ride.
It's really interesting that you mentioned that because there is a when I was diving into like like Hinduism, Buddhism, they're not the same, but I think they both believe in reincarnation and shit like that. So when I was diving into reincarnation and spirituality and kind of researching a lot of these concepts, something that was very clearly illustrated was the fact that our spirits is us, like our spirit or soul. I don't even know if that's the same fucking thing, but our spirit is us, and it enters the vehicle that is our body, as you put it. This was something that like I didn't even fully understand until like or a concept that I couldn't fully grasp until like past couple months actually. I don't know that I couldn't, but I just didn't. And so yeah, I just think it's very interesting that the idea that like our bodies are a vehicle, something that we can go. I mean, if it's a vehicle, right, it's something we can go into and go out of, right?
Interesting.
And so, exactly.
Wow.
And so the idea is we come from a more
Wow, that just blew my mind.
Right?
Wow.
Exactly.
That was pretty dope. Yeah.
And this is where we get into astral projection. This is when we get into things like reincarnation. Like we die, our vehicle fucking crashes or breaks or whatever the fuck, it's totaled, man. We cannot drive this shit anymore.
For those of you wondering, astral projection is essentially where your body, or what would you say? Like your spirit, your soul leaves your body. I don't know if you ever heard their stories like in the ERs or in the medical, where astral projection. It's like they essentially have what we call an out of body experience. And
best way to put it.
Science still has yet to prove it, but there's a lot of compelling.
Yeah, get on that shit, science. What the fuck? How can all these fucking people have this experience and you don't fucking know about it, man?
You prove that UFOs exist. Now prove that this exists.
Exactly. Is it that much easier to prove aliens exist?
Well, I mean, you can record that. You can't really record this.
That's fucking true. Alright, you're right.
Plus, you know what's interesting is like when scientists like intrude into these experiments, they never happen. Like there's been a lot of cases where it's like all these out of body experiences happen just naturally, and when they try to do like focus studies on
it's incredibly hard to manufacture.
Yeah.
It's got to be bro. I lucid dreamed a couple days ago for the first time in my life.
Dude, that's crazy.
Have you?
I have. It's bizarre.
It's so fucking cool,
It's
and
bizarre.
it changes the way you fucking bro. You move different after you fucking lucid dream,
dude.
bro.
It's bizarre.
Oh my god, we have to talk about this. It's. I don't know if we have room on this episode to talk about it.
We do, because we're almost done with this topic, and then I want to go for like an hour and 30 because we're really hyped right now.
Yeah,
we have a lot of energy.
Okay, fuck. Okay.
Wait, I'm okay. Yeah. I'm gonna have to ask you now because I'm gonna forget. No, I gotta write it down.
What were you gonna? Okay.
Because
what were you gonna say? Just tell me.
Did it feel like you were in a movie and the movie was continuing, but you were aware that you were in the movie when you were lucid dreaming?
Yes. Okay. No, it didn't. But I can relate to that experience.
Okay, cool.
So like, yeah.
Wait. I don't want to get into it yet.
Oh no, for sure. But I just want to say that wasn't my interpretation, but I can feel. I get it. I would agree.
Yeah, because I have a story for that too. Okay. All right.
Fuck, bro. I'm telling you, we can do an entire fucking. Bro, do you want to just do an episode after this on lucid dreaming?
Oh shit! You just want to do? Oh wow, that'd be interesting. What time is it? It's like 12. We probably could. Yeah.
Okay.
But
not right now. But
for sure.
I don't know.
Holy
it's
shit.
an idea.
No, I like it. That's a lot of editing.
It is. I mean,
I can do it though
because
I got nothing to do this weekend. So.
I mean, or we could just pause both, replay both.
Except watch Avatar.
Oh shit! Yeah, because it'd be an entirely different episode. Oh fuck.
Yeah. Anyways,
all right, we'll decide.
No, I'm totally down to do another podcast after this.
Okay.
Okay. So what were we talking about?
Fuck man. Okay, we were talking about the third meaning of life. We were talking about the third meaning of life, which of a good life, healthiness.
And so we were talking about the body.
I swear to God, there's something that I needed to say though.
And you're talking about out of body experiences.
Vehicle. Yes, perfect. Thank you. Perfect. So, in part of that, by the way, we're fucking dripping because it's like 90 degrees in here.
Yeah,
by the way,
it's so hot in here.
And where we are, I don't fucking know, man. Like, I don't fucking know. But like, it's just hot here. That's all I know.
We don't exist. We just feel heat.
Exactly. It's just fucking cosmic energy, man. That shit's strong.
My ego is conceptualizing all of these things to convince me that I'm real, but I just don't exist. I just feel heat.
Yeah, it's all just fucking heat when you really think about it. But that's kind of fucking deep. It really all just kind of is heat.
That was a good like hits blunt me right there.
Bro, the shrooms hitting you too.
Well, dude, you just looked at me and you were like, "That's actually kind of."
If you think about it though, it's like what is like most of this shit's just energy, anyways. Right?
Here we go to the title of the
right?
podcast. We don't exist. That was funny.
Oh fuck, man! All right,
All right, let's focus.
yeah. So the body. So the body's a vehicle. You can go in and out of it, right? And then there's also an idea of like I don't even know what the fuck I was gonna say, man. Move on.
Okay. All right. Well, mental health now. So we got the body part down, and then so mental health is basically, you were talking about how people take like antidepressants and is anti-anxiety pills a thing?
Yeah, like Xanax type shit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they exist. Yeah. I don't know if they're called anti-anxiety.
Right.
Yeah,
I
anxiety
never heard
medication.
that. Yeah. No. Exactly. Essentially to like solve their problems.
Exactly, but more than solve their. I mean, yeah, solve their problems. I mean, they definitely see it as a solution, but obviously it's not a solution. It's a Band-Aid, and it doesn't take a fucking very intelligent I get so emotionally charged on this topic, and I'm just gonna let myself get emotionally charged.
That's because you work at a pharmacy.
It's not the only reason, because I've felt like this way before. It actually starts. I think it kind of starts with my first fucking love. She took medications for mental health. I fucking hated it because I just wanted better for her.
Yeah.
I didn't want her to think that was the end all be all of her condition.
Yeah.
Like
no,
she was just fucking tied to these pills. Like fuck that shit. No. And you know the beautiful thing is. Oh my god, bro! I just have to tell this story, man, because this is the most ego feeding thing ever. But it also just genuinely does make me a little bit happy. There's a conversation. So I spent like a fucking year or two, just being this girl's therapist, basically, man. Like all of her like mental health issues, all of her like life issues, all the complexities that like she would deal with, and all the things that like burdened her. She opened up to me about them, and we would go through and we would talk about them. I'd give her my input. I'd tell her what I think is good and bad, and like the things like I would just genuinely, I kind of like fucking counsel her, man. Like
Yeah.
And so she finally, her mother wanted her to go to therapy for so fucking long, and she didn't want to shell out the money for it. Her mother finally got fed up with it, and she just paid for the therapy. So she went to the sessions, and after like 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions or some shit like that with her therapist, she and actually this was during a time in which we'd actually broken up. So we were broken up for a couple months, and she was going to these therapy sessions, and it was like weekly. And when we started talking again, one of the very first things that she told me was, she was like, you know, I'm telling the story bad, but it doesn't fucking matter. So one of the reasons why we broke up actually was because she didn't like the relationship dynamic in many ways, and she's right about that in many ways. I was a little bit pushy and controlling in a lot of ways. Point that I'm getting to was, she needed time to herself. She needed some space. Fair. She took that space, went to therapy and shit. Fair. She came back and realized that all of the shit that I was saying, because there's a lot of things, there was a lot of changes in her life I was pushing for that on the surface looked like I was pushing for them for me. Like I was trying to control her. Like I was trying to manipulate her so that, you know, so that I could get what I wanted. And it's because of the fact that a lot of it was things that I had some personal like stake in, right? Like how we spent our time, and like how much time we spent, and like how our lives were going to be conducted together and shit like that. It was still things that I personally felt were good for the both of us, but yeah, I benefited from them. And so because of this, she really did question whether she questioned whether her best interest was, whether I cared about her best interest, you know? Okay. What I'm getting to is, after she went through a therapist, she came back to me and basically said, you know, everything this therapist has told me is the shit that you were telling me. Like, wow. Everything. Yeah. And that, like, that moment of just, like, because you love someone, you care so much about them, and so you try so fucking hard to help them, and then you finally come to the acceptance, you can't help them. They have to help themselves. Yeah. You've tried, and now you've done what you can do. It's their time to do what they will with that information. Yeah. That moment when they come back and they say, thank you, you were right, like, I now not only have a better perspective on everything, but I also understand that the entire time you cared about me. Like the entire time you cared about me. And yeah, why the fuck am I talking about this?
We're talking about mental health issues.
Mental health issues.
And taking antidepressants.
Yes.
And I think basically what you're saying is like how your girlfriend was taking that. And
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And so, oh my god, this tangent was so fucking bad. Well, but yes. So basically, I tell that fucking whole story to say, yeah, I don't think she's no longer taking pills, or I don't think she's any longer taking pills. And I would like to take some credit for that, but
you get a gold star, Jordan.
Thank you.
Leave a cookie for Jordan down in the comments below, please.
I need my cookies.
Yeah, just put one cookie.
Not like the fucking website cookies, though.
No. We're talking chocolate chip cookies.
How about like white chocolate macadamia nut?
Wow, specific.
I fuck with that, man. You fuck with that? White chocolate chip macadamia nut.
I think I've had it before.
It's so fucking good.
Especially
the ones with like little fucking cranberries in them.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Oh, they're so
cranberries are good. Why don't you just add cranberries to everything? Like screw raisins.
Nah, fuck that. Wait, no, cranberries are too bitter for that. Like oatmeal raisin cookies, oatmeal cranberry. No. Because the sweetness of the oatmeal raisin is the raisin, and it becomes bitter with the cranberry.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But
interesting.
But white chocolate macadamia nut has the white chocolate for the sweetness, so the cranberry bitterness just complements that.
Ooh.
This is all a fucking science, bro. It's all calculated, bro. It's all about playing fucking 4D chess, man.
Okay. All right. Anyways, back to mental health issues. But I think your side tangent was actually pretty relevant to what we're talking about because it's essentially, it was like a topic that we were essentially going to talk about, right? Because when you take away the pills, when you take away the antidepressants, then it comes down to therapy. Then it comes down to actually talking about your problems and solving through them.
And exactly. And actually taking action.
And it's essentially, it usually leads to that where someone tries to help this person, but the person doesn't do it, doesn't give in. And it's to the point where you're giving the horse water, but you just got to wait until the horse drinks it.
Yeah, until they're thirsty.
You can't make the horse drink water, but you can give it water. You can open the door, but they have to walk through it. You know what I mean? Sure. Like it's like a bucket with like holes in the bottom, right? And you just go, okay, I'm going to give you advice. I'm going to pour this water in the bucket. All you have to do is plug up the hole. Okay, I'll plug up the hole. And you plug up the hole, you pour the water, and like they let go, like no, plug up the hole, and like that's essentially what you're trying to do.
For sure,
you know what I mean? It's it's that, and I think that's a very beautiful way how you put it, when essentially they come back to you and tell you that you were right, and tell you that like when they realized, when you realized that they drank the water. I think that's such a beautiful moment because it's that growth.
I think that there's two beautiful moments within this though, because there's the potential for the first one to never happen, which is accepting that they may never drink the water, right?
Right.
Because first off, that in and of itself is such a beautiful moment. It's a burden off your shoulders.
Yeah, dude, it's like a weight off
exactly. You take so much responsibility in this, and you think to yourself, I have to help them. Like you operate under the illusion that you have control over their situation when you fucking don't, right? And I mean, and this applies to so many things in life that you just don't have fucking control over. And so when you finally reach that acceptance and you understand, like, you know what, all I can do is my best to benefit them and aid them in advice and counseling, and then I have to sit with it, man.
Yeah.
And I have to sit with the reality that they may never fucking get better.
Dude, I know, man. And that is so tough.
When you reach that in and of itself is rewarding because the burden's off, right?
Right.
So you go from negative to 0.
Yeah.
And then when they come back to you and you realize they drank the water, you go from 0 to fucking positive.
Yeah. No, and I think that's just one of the most beautiful moments, and like that's one of the moments in life that I just really treasure. When I see someone take that like responsibility for themselves, and like they just look inwards and do it for themselves. I think that is like the most beautiful thing a human being can do.
Yeah.
You know, it's greatly just It's just awesome. It's just awesome. You know what I mean? It's just like, congrats. Like you've taken that first step, you know? And then, because so much comes with that. So much comes with that. It's like the realization that you can essentially just achieve anything that you set your mind to.
Yeah, somewhat.
But
I think,
seeds.
I think you realize that you can achieve anything that you set your mind to, but part of it is also realizing that you may never achieve anything you set your mind to. And that's the most important step in my opinion. It's not that hard, especially in today's society where we preach to every fucking kid that anything they set their mind to they can achieve, right?
Right.
Because that's just the fucking golden standard. If you don't tell a kid that, you're a bad person, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, but we always, every fucking person fails us because they forget to tell us, but that does not mean you will achieve everything that you set your mind to. In fact, you may never achieve anything you set your mind to, and you don't have control over that.
Yeah.
All you can do is your best. That's it. And your best may not be a good enough. Unfortunately, like, I hate to fucking break it to you, your best may not be good enough.
Yeah.
If you're a fucking dwarf, I'm sorry, you're not going to be the best NBA player.
Yeah.
You're just fucking not, okay? No matter how fucking hard you try.
You could be the best dwarf NBA player.
Possibly, but you also may not.
Yeah, exactly.
Who fucking knows, man?
No,
you can try your best.
Yeah.
You can try your best. I can promise you that. But you cannot, I can't tell you that you can be the best or that you will be the best. You can, but I can't tell you that you will.
Right.
And I can't tell you that if you try your best, you will be the best.
That's another thing about success. Is it doesn't care if you work hard.
Oh, it doesn't fucking care at all.
It doesn't care if you're strategic.
Yeah.
It doesn't care about anything.
Yeah.
It's just success.
It just is what it is. Yeah.
That's why you see people become successful and you're like, why is this person famous?
Yeah.
Why? Because success doesn't give a fuck. It doesn't care if you work hard. It doesn't care if you have talent. Talent? What? Who cares, dude? You know what I mean? It's just, it's like a thing. It's like an anomaly.
Anomaly. Yeah.
Can't pronounce that word. Anomaly.
An anomaly.
and then your anomaly.
Anomaly.
Lee.
Anomaly.
Anomaly.
There you go.
It's an anomaly.
There you go.
Yes. English classes with Mondo. But yeah, and you know, it's just one of those things, man, where you just got to accept for what it is and essentially not really like chase for that success, but just chase for the process and just, you know, it's like do your best. Essentially.
Yeah, no, and there's a fucking perfect, beautiful nugget that you just had in there. Chase the process. And is that the hardest fucking nugget to chase in the world? Yes, it fucking is, by the way, because that's what I'm trying to do with my life right now, is focus only on the process and not the result of the shit that I'm doing, which is part of what I've been talking about with this podcast.
Yeah.
Like, forget about the fucking result because we can't like force people to watch this. We can't force this to be like something. All we can force is like us to enjoy it, right? Well,
right.
You can't force that either. But the point is, like, chase the process. Like, enjoy the fucking process because that's all you're guaranteed.
Yeah.
And I think that's
exactly.
so
That's
fucking
so true.
massive.
That's exactly
all you're guaranteed. You're not guaranteed the fucking result. You're
No.
guaranteed the process, though.
Exactly.
And so enjoy it. You have to fucking enjoy it, or else what the fuck are you doing? You're wasting your time.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
There's a really good quote. It says how you make your money is more important than how much you make.
Yeah. 100%. Bro, I was talking about this. Bro, I was talking to this fucking middle-aged dude about this. He's like a recurring customer in my store. And I was talking to him about this. He wasn't fucking hearing me out, bro. And it's so frustrating. Dude, it's so fucking frustrating when I'm talking to people who are like 3 times my fucking age. Like, and they don't fucking grasp like philosophical concepts that are just like, bro, I'm a third of your fucking age. How do you not understand this? What have you been doing on this fucking earth for so fucking long? Like, use your brain, please.
Oh my God.
And he was just talking about like he was talking about how like I need to like, you know, I should be finding like a woman who's gonna like back me up and like help me achieve my goals and shit like that. And he's not wrong, but like where he was coming from was just so fuck. If he's watching this, by the way, bro, Robert, if you're watching this, man, let's talk, right? You now know how I actually feel, so we could talk about it. Right? I don't hate you. I actually
He probably doesn't want to talk to you now.
Fuck it. If he doesn't want to talk to me because of this, then like, whatever. He wouldn't want to talk to me anyways.
Oh, okay.
You know what I
true.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
if you don't like the real me,
He wasn't
like,
going to drink the water.
Exactly. But anyways, yeah, that's a really important nugget, and I just wanted to highlight that because that's honestly, I feel like that's one of the most important things you've said in this entire fucking podcast. Chase the process.
Yeah.
Easier said than done, but it's so fucking crucial. It is what a happy life is.
It is what a good life is.
No, it's not.
Oh, It is what a happy life is.
Yeah. A good life is fucking, being selfless and trying to help other people and trying to,
So you're saying that a happy life is chasing the process?
Yeah, I believe so. Because I think that, I don't think happiness comes from results. And that goes back to, what we were talking about with fulfillment. Mm-hmm. And talking about star athletes, which, we then define that that's not fulfillment, that's just happiness. But when you chase a result, you won't achieve happiness. You'll achieve happiness for like 2 seconds when you get that result. But the actual moment in the duration of time in which you achieve a result is so fucking small. I mean, it's a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a second, right? Technically, like when you win a game of League of Legends or a game of basketball or whatever, and that buzzer goes off and you have more points than the opposing team. How much time did it take for you to like win? Like essentially, you've been winning the entire time, but like the actual moment in which you win was like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a second, right?
All right.
And so that was like the result. That's the result. And I guess there's more to it because technically it's like, yeah, maybe you imagine more. Maybe you think that girls are gonna now like you, and riches are gonna come too. And so yeah, you can live out your results for a while, but at the end of the day, the important thing to understand is that results actually won't fucking help you. And I feel like this is a lot of like, smoke up your ass type of philosophical shit that a lot of people talk about, but I don't know, man. It's just so real.
Yeah, it's the truth.
It's real shit. It's like, it may be cliche, but it's just real. Is what it is. Like,
no, it's one of those cliche things, like where you just have to say, I know this is a cliche, but you have to say it because it's just true.
It's too fucking real to like ignore.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing is if you do ignore it, you're gonna either have to confront it or be unhappy.
Yeah. No.
So sure. I mean, it is what it is. Like.
Yeah. That's very true. Yep. Well,
I
think that's it. Those were the 3 topics that we talked about of what
we actually didn't talk about healthy. We went back to happy. I mean, we talked about healthy. We talked about physical health. We talked a little bit about mental health and not doing drugs and shit like that.
Yeah, but I feel like we covered it though.
I feel like we did too. I think we covered it adequately. I'm definitely satisfied, which is what's important.
I mean, we've essentially. I think a big one is when like the horse just not drinking the water. Like that's one big thing. Like how you were saying, like when your ex realized that essentially like you were right and that she loved you in a sense because she came back and like realized what you were saying was true, and that moment of clarity hit her where she, I mean, did she drink the water?
Well, you see, I don't have a relationship with her anymore, so I can't like guarantee this, but it seems like she did. She's now. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to make sure that none of this shit's like revealing at all. Gotcha. She's now happily married and has twins.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And has a husband.
Okay.
And I don't know if she's happily married. I can't guarantee that. But it seems like she's Instagram says she's happily married, so we can just assume that that's correct,
and
right?
Instagram always tells the truth.
Instagram always tells the truth, bro, dude. Her husband before me. Her Instagram was like, dude, if you looked at just her Instagram, you'd think that's she was happy as fuck. You'd think that they're just 2 peas in a pod, bro. They're so fucking in love for each other. Yeah. Bro, oh my God, bro. It's so crazy, dude. Especially like when we were like dating and shit, because then I'd look at her Instagram and I'd be like, bro, what the fuck, bro? You're so, like, how the fuck how do you feel this way? And then this is what you present to the world. Yeah. So I still don't fucking have an Instagram. Instagram isn't bad. It's just, it promotes bad things. I think it's hard to use Instagram correctly. I think it's hard to use Instagram healthily. Because at the end of you don't think it is?
No.
You think it's easy?
Yeah, people just like, no. I think it's hard. I don't think it's like a willpower thing. Because it's like, you essentially see everyone else living their good life in this, but it's like essentially just you caring about other people's opinions. But once you toss that out the window, it's like it's like a best tool.
For sure. No, 100%. But the question is, what's the tool being used for if you don't care about other people's opinions?
Well, that's up to you.
For sure, yeah, because you could use it as like marketing. You could use it as like outreach. Like
right? That. You know what I mean?
You're right. But I still think that's hard. I mean,
Yeah,
it's.
I
mean, yeah,
guess,
you could
but, like,
just say like toss your care for other people's opinions out the window. Yeah. Hey, everybody, let me just tell you, you'll be really fucking happy. Just toss everybody's opinions out the window. You're gonna be a lot more happy. Actually, yeah. This is the last episode because we basically just solved all your fucking problems, right?
That's a good one.
Yeah. That's the definition of easier said than done. But I agree with you.
It definitely took me a long time to like take that shit off Instagram, like to view Instagram as that way. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, it just seemed as if like you were blaming Instagram for that. Where it's like,
no, yeah, exactly. No, at first I did, and I didn't mean to, but I did. At first I did, and that's why I clarified and said, it's not that Instagram is that or does that. It's that it. I will stand by that it promotes that, but I think the most if you're gonna take one fucking statement, it's that it's hard not to do that on Instagram.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot harder when you just see Instagram as a platform, just the way it's presented to you.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to use it in a sense that isn't egotistical, quite honestly.
No. Yeah, I do agree with that, yeah. I take my statement back. It is hard to use it as non-egotistical thing.
Yeah, because so much of it, I mean, likes, bro?
Yeah.
Likes?
Yeah. Hearts.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah, it's like programmed
bro, it's ingrained in it.
Yeah.
To feed the ego. It's ingrained, bro.
Yeah.
It can be used for other reasons. I will not deny that. But it's so heavily ingrained in it. The platform itself is designed for this kind of use.
Yeah.
And that's also what makes it addictive, right? Because people get addicted to the validation. They need to continue to feed their ego as it grows. It requires more validation. Yeah. That's the addiction.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah.
Bro, yeah. And dude, it's so hard, man, cuz like when I'm looking at like chicks and shit, I want like a you know, this is a lofty ass fucking ask, but like I want a woman who's like not seeking that kind of gratification. But it's so like, who are you ever gonna find like a nice dime that doesn't have an Instagram, bro? Like, what do you mean? Like, everybody's got a fucking Instagram.
I don't know what fucking world you're living in,
dude. I know, right, dude? I'm on shrooms if I think that's possible, man.
No, that's fucking bullshit.
It's so impossible, man.
Yeah,
And this really is not to diss everybody who has an Instagram, because I'll tell you what, you're probably feeding your ego less than I am, quite honestly. Like, there's so many ways that I feed my ego and I'm addicted to validation, and probably a lot worse ways than Instagram even makes you or anybody else. But
your honesty is appreciated.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I think it's important to be honest. Another thing about being honest, right? Honesty. It's like it's how noble to be an honest person about me. I feel good about myself when I'm honest.
Interesting. Yeah.
So, like honest, like this is another thing that I struggled with. A lot of times I'm honest because of my ego, because I'm like, look at me, I'm being honest. I'm being strong. I'm being confident. Right.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Interesting.
It's so, and bro, I'm telling you, like, it's like, this isn't just me overthinking. There's a lot of times in which I am honest 100% for my ego. Even if it's about my fucking ego. Yeah. It's fucking, dude, it's dangerous, man. It feels
you have
like
a lot of work to do, young Padawan. We must start on your training very soon.
Bro, I need to be in the middle of a fucking ranch, like fucking doing kicks on a tree, man.
Yeah. You need to come out and live here with me and understand the meaning of life.
Man.
I live in a ranch, you guys.
Yeah.
And I add
Bro, you just broke it, bro. We don't exist.
Oh, yeah.
I fuck it. It was going to happen anyways.
We
do exist now.
Glass shattering. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we went over the 3 things then, right?
Yeah, how long is this?
I can't read.
Oh, you just can't at all? You got pretty far in life. You've gotten pretty far in life not being able to read, dude. I'm impressed. Where is it? Maybe I can read.
Can't you see? You're closer to...
Oh, shit, the timeline. Maybe hour and a half.
Okay. I think that's good.
You think it's good? Yeah, I think it's good too.
Yeah.
Do we want to do a separate one about...
I don't know. This one kind of drained me. We could do a little funny.
Okay, I just have to. Just for my mental organization, what was the thing that we were gonna do a separate podcast about tonight?
Lucid dreaming.
That's what it was. Okay. Yeah, no, we're not. Yeah, not tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
We'll do it I think it'll be better if I do it a different night too, because I've been thinking about that way too much, and so because it was a couple days ago, man. That shit's crazy, bro. Like especially because like I want to do it more.
Oh, so you're saying like you want to gather your thoughts on it first?
Well, yeah, I want to gather my thoughts, and I also want I want to be able to process. Like I want more time to process it, so that when I come back to it, then I can have more like concrete opinions. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of shit that I'm like unsure about, right? So the ground isn't even totally settled because it's just now gotten paved.
Oh, okay.
What a beautiful analogy. God fucking damn it, man.
Say that again?
I said there's a lot of things that I still want to process, and I said I want to let the ground settle because it just got paved.
Ooh, that was good. Frederick Douglass over here, everybody.
Beautiful fucking analogy. All right.
Yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up. You know, to summarize, basically what we were saying about what is the meaning of a good life. You know, we talked about 3 topics: health, happiness, and what was the other one?
We talked about oh yeah, did we only cover the one? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of cool,
It
right?
was just one.
It's concise as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I like that.
So
all right, yeah. We talked about so the question was bro, yeah, we got the title for the episode too. What's a good life?
You know, what is the meaning of a good life? That's the question.
We could do what's the meaning or what's a good life.
No, we can just do what's a good life. I like that one too.
Yeah, but the question is the importance is the actual specifics of the question. What is the meaning of a good life? Because we did do a lot of defining.
Right.
So yeah, and then we came to the conclusion that a good life can be interpreted in 3 different ways: happy, healthy, and a morally good life.
Right.
We covered all 3. I think we didn't quite completely cover the healthy one, but I'm satisfied with what we did cover.
Yeah, we kind of got off topic.
Yeah, definitely. We bleeded more into happy because there is so much happiness to health.
Right. No, for sure.
But I'm definitely happy with how much we covered. I think we covered everything. That we did cover everything. It's just we didn't cover everything to the same extensiveness.
Right, because I think there's just more depth for us in the ones that we did go more deep into. Maybe because they just hold more depth, or maybe because we're just wired to go in depth into those topics. Who knows?
Yeah, I missed a lot of what you just said, unfortunately.
Like, basically, maybe someone can go more in depth into healthy because maybe they study more mental health than we do.
Perhaps. I think that we're definitely capable of going deeper. Or at least I know I'm definitely capable of going deeper into.
Yeah.
Quite honestly,
me
all
too.
these fucking topics.
Me too. Definitely me too.
All right, well, fuck it. Anyways, we did a good job.
Yeah, no, so what is the meaning of a good life? Those are our thoughts and opinions. You know, if you guys have any concerns or questions about this, leave them down below. We'll try to answer them.
Yeah.
I want to answer them. I definitely want to talk to you. I don't know. We gotta.
If we start getting questions, then I would say that that we probably should include the questions into the probably beginning of the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, comment whatever the fuck you want. You're gonna do that anyways. We don't have to fucking tell you that, right? But yeah, the important thing is if you want us to discuss something.
Yes, leave it down below. We'll read that and we'll listen to you guys. I'm gonna leave this link to this list to give you guys ideas if you guys want a topic that we could talk about, and we could
totally just copy paste in the description too.
Yeah, honestly, I'll probably just copy and paste it, and then. But obviously, you can ask your own questions, and we'll try to go for that too.
For sure, yeah. How long? It's like 100 and something.
Well, the article was like 100 and something, but I only copied like 85.
Okay.
So I guess.
Is it because there's ones that you didn't like?
No, I just didn't feel like copying them. I didn't even read them. I was just like, all right, this is enough. You know, so because I knew just looking at the list,
content, yeah,
like looking at the list, like we would have, like we were just.
I want to read off some of these other ones. Is it more important to be respected than liked? That's a good one. Have we become less happy in this age of technology? That's an okay one. Let me think about that. I don't fucking like that one. Are humans obligated to be better themselves? Obligated to better themselves, and will that make them happier? Okay, that's an okay one. We kind of covered that though.
Is having a big ego a negative trait or a positive trait?
100% negative. 100% negative. And I fucking hate that that's even a question, because it just shows how people's definition of ego is incorrect. People's perception of ego is incorrect. I think a lot of people think ego and confidence are the same thing, which is one of the biggest issues.
Yeah, it's
they're,
a really
they're,
big thing.
They're polar fucking opposites. They're literally on opposite ends of the same spectrum, which is the most it's the most detrimental part about having an ego, is because, and I say this as someone who literally believed this like less than 6 months ago. So don't think that I'm walking on anybody. I'm literally saying this because I'm upset that I was allowed to go on this long thinking this. And so many other fucking people were also thinking this, and so it led me astray. Actually, fuck it. I want to cover this just a little bit. Ego is basically the opposite of confidence. Ego exists so that we can compensate for a lack of confidence.
Oh my god, that's fucking
Yes.
Yes.
That is the reason why we have an ego.
Yes.
And so so it's a protective mechanism. So I mean, I don't want to go into too many examples and make this go on forever, but essentially confidence is value and validation that comes from within. Ego is value and validation that comes from the external world. And it's very important that your value and your fucking validation comes from within, because that is the only thing that is going to be sustained. The external world's constantly changing, and it's fucking fickle. And you'll figure that shit out. I mean, you probably already have. Fickle.
I like that word.
Yeah.
So it's a good word. Fickle.
Fickle.
Yeah, I just got a random idea. What if we had a word of the day for the podcast?
I fucking knew you were gonna say it. I was almost gonna fucking say, is that the word of the podcast?
You know what I mean? The word of a podcast? That'd make things interesting. More interesting.
Okay, but what is it for? Just to exist?
No, I think it would broaden our perspective on how we would communicate.
Having a word of the podcast?
Yeah, because you're forced to take another alternate route in structuring your sentences. And it would add...
so it's something that we try to use a lot?
Huh?
How is this going to change anything about anything, having a word of the podcast?
It's essentially going to help us improve the way we can communicate in the long run, because we can learn about words to make abstract things more tangible, essentially.
So how are we going to actually improve? Are we going to
We're going to learn words that we're not...
so we're going to learn a word, and then... Are we going to learn a word every single podcast?
Or and then try to integrate it into the podcast.
Ah!
I mean, it's okay if we don't, but you know.
Okay,
what I mean?
so we're just going to have a vocab word.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, fucking why not?
Yeah, I think it'd be funny.
Okay, sure.
But
we gotta have fun with this shit. So we'll have a vocab word. We gotta choose some fucking crazy shit though. Not crazy,
dude,
but
leave
vocab words in the fucking.
Leave a comment below. Leave a vocab word that, and if enough of it gets enough likes, or
the most liked vocab word. Yeah,
liked vocab word. We'll go for it, and we'll try to integrate it into the podcast.
Yeah, and so what I'm thinking is what we'll do is we'll try to every topic that we cover, we'll try to use that vocab word within our explanation, but we have to make it make sense. That's the thing.
It has to come off candid.
Well, it has to be candid, but it has to make sense. It has to actually fucking work.
Right.
It can't be just some substitution word that we throw out just because we have to. We have to somehow find a way to actually make it make sense and make it work.
Okay, for sure. Do Urban Dictionary words count? I feel like some do.
Fuck it. I mean, whatever you guys fucking want. But the reality, I mean, I don't know. The reality is it seemed like you wanted some real ass words that were actually going to be able to integrate.
I mean, it's the internet we're talking about.
Exactly, and they don't like real ass words. They like shit like bruh.
Oh my god.
And simp.
Philosophy of the bread. Yeah. Okay. So I think we're gonna end it off here. We'll leave the link for this stuff down below. Leave a comment on a word that you guys wanted to do. Also, if you want us to have a topic to talk about, leave that down below. We'll look into it, and that is gonna wrap it up for the We Don't Exist.
Before we continue to not exist, do you think I should or should not say the N-word?
I don't.
I would say no because it limits so many. Fuck this world, man. Fuck this world. Why do I have to ask this question? I shouldn't have to ask this question.
Yeah, man. It's up
I'll
to
figure
you.
it out.
Yeah.
It's up to me, but the reality is it limits options. It just limits options. That's
I
the reality.
guess.
It limits options. So
I think it could be used for humor.
it most certainly should be used for humor, but unfortunately, there's not too many people who find it that funny.
I disagree.
I disagree too.
And plus,
there's a lot of people who do find it funny.
The
but
way we're already talking, we're attracting an audience that would find that funny.
yeah, I would agree. I would agree. You're right. The unfortunate thing is that like, yeah, you know what?
Yeah. You were about to say it. You were about to say it, bro.
I fucking did.
You were about to say it. Oh my god, that was hilarious.
We'll save it for another time. I'll keep that shit in my brain though.
Okay, guys, that's gonna be it for this episode. We'll catch you next week. See ya. That was funny. Yeah. That was funny. Ooh.